Nerdrotic.com.
Welcome, travelers, to the fringes of reality, where the strange and mysterious meet, and the thin veil between fact and fiction is torn. Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier.
Baby.
What's up? Taking on a big subject today.
Very big.
Very big.
Yeah.
I think all four of our minds combined will probably fail to understand it completely, but it's okay. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Clearly not a physicist or a theoretical whatever, or a psychologist or a Scientologist.
Any of those
Not
things.
even really a
Any
high school graduate. But I mean, like,
Physicists.
Yeah.
we're accused of being is and phobes all the time, especially but
True.
not a physicist.
We may not know stuff, but we're very enthusiastic. So
Excited.
that
Yeah,
makes
we're
up
very
for it.
excited about what we don't know anything about. But that's what this show is.
We're right at the top of the Dunning-Kruger effect. We're about to hit the bottom, flying off the side.
That's it. That's it. Today's subject is the simulation theory, one that made a lot of waves back in, I think it was 2003. I remember the guy I bought my comic store from, Orestes, nice guy, crazy mofo. But he and I would discuss David Icke back in the day. And
All right.
he was absolutely convinced. And at the time, I'm like, bullshit. No, it's bullshit. It's total bullshit. I'm not so sure now. I'm not so sure. It's the more I semi understand of it, the more I think, okay, sure, why not? And it is interesting because the documentary talks about how it has worlds collide, basically belief, worlds of belief collide, including, religion and science, hardcore atheists, which is kind of funny because you think about it. Either way requires an architect, requires a builder, requires an engineer. What's up, Garrett? How's it going?
What's up, man? I'm super. I'm doing great. I'm ready to get into this. I like this theory. I like to talk about it. I like to hypothesize. It's very hard to understand all of the metaphysics and the particles, and explaining that is on a whole nother level. But like I said, very enthusiastic about it. I'm ready to get into it.
Let's go. What's up, Adam?
I am also very excited about this. I asked my ex-followers, maybe it was yesterday, do you believe
Your
in
ex
simulation
followers
theory?
or ex followers? I'm
Ex-followers.
confused.
Yeah. And they follow me still, thankfully.
Okay. Yes.
Gratefully.
Okay.
And I think the general consensus was it was a bunch of atheists going, it's cope from religion, or the opposite. People are like, oh, it's religion for atheists, essentially. And then there was a very few, but I think powerful few, that said, what's the point? Right?
That's
and
a good point.
I'm like, that's really interesting, because we'll never actually know. And because obviously if it is a simulation, it's so damn good that we can't tell that we're in one, which is incredible. And I'll delve into that. But I am excited about this. I do want to show you guys something that I got in the mail. This is a Moai head.
Oh, you got one
from Geopolymer.
Wow.
The dude.
And this is from Marcel Foti, the guy that I've referenced quite often, because I'm very interested in his theory. It's made from a water glass, and it's very much stone, and it's very cool. I'm very. Come on.
Have you tested it out? Can you smack it on stuff and see?
I mean, yeah, there we go. Now it's nice and crisp. It's hard. I don't want to break it, you know, because
Okay. You should have got
but
two.
I mean, it feels like stone, and it's pretty cool. So I'm really excited.
Nice.
And funny enough, it arrived like a couple days after we had Johanna on the show, and I'm like, oh man, it would have been perfect. Like, look, I got a little moai head. But yeah, it's really cool. So it's made of geopolymer, and I'm very intrigued by it. And I want you guys to really look at the rocks as if it could be true, because it might not be true. I don't know. I want to believe that they were able to cut it, but I also, it's like simulation theory. Like, I could see that it's a possibility. Same with that it was cast, not cut, which is an argument a lot of people think. So
yeah.
Anyway, excited
Super
about tonight's
interesting.
episode. Yeah,
We're gonna find out in a couple weeks. Nice jacket, by the way, Garrett.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's
super
looking real nice
comfortable.
on
Ooh, it's-
you.
I'm ready, dude.
nice.
I'm gonna put my I have a patch, a Death Dealer patch. I'm gonna put
Oh,
on
dang.
the back.
Oh, that's
huge.
dope. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gonna
All
sew
right.
it in.
And then you're gonna do. See, I got my.
And then
There it is.
the
The Forbidden Frontier patch.
here's my
right
Forbidden
there.
Frontier. It's right here on the desk somewhere.
Oh, Gary,
But I'm
tell
gonna
the
put that on my
boss.
side, like, right here.
Tell the boss thank you,
Sure.
because she got me a jacket too,
Yeah, she did. I
and
will.
I am grateful.
Where should I put this one? I don't know
very
where to put this
rad.
one. Just on the back.
That should go right
On the
there.
inside.
Right. Just back.
No, no.
That's basically that should be a
for
tramp
doorbell.
stamp.
Like a tramp stamp on the back.
Put it on your
The
pants.
jacket.
right above your crack.
That's where it's going. That's where it's going.
Really good.
Send me more
That's
patches
really
to
good.
put on this. I will put more on here.
I'll let the lady know. She abandoned me. I'm like here with the dog.
Wow.
No.
So
Wow.
Oh, here it is.
Gary, not salty
The
at all.
patch. The patch.
yeah.
It's gonna go right here, like it's a.
Oh, you're not gonna put it over the skull?
No, I think I'm gonna put it right here. Like it's
Well,
like
I
a...
feel like we are all, since we all got these.
Wait, are we
jackets,
putting
by
it
the
on
way.
this right here?
Well, I
think
mean,
the missus is sewing mine on, so
yeah.
Oh, let
she
me know
said
where she
she's-
puts it.
I
Yeah,
don't think
yeah.
she's gonna put it over the skull. I mean, like
She's
they were-
not.
I feel like that's the brand.
They were kind enough to like bro us these.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm gonna put it here like a military kind of like
Well,
a
then
flag.
let's-
You know, where the
I want to
flag
know.
is.
I want to put
arm.
it where everyone else does. So,
Yeah.
okay, left arm.
wanna put
like
it?
boom.
There's so
I
many
think that
jokes.
should be a patch that you put on though, for sure. Garrett.
I want to put
I'm
it.
putting it
wherever-
on.
I'm gonna put it where
I wanna
everyone
put
else
it-
does.
Damn it! Stop phrasing. Damn it! It's too late.
Oh, and by the way, we are the ones who are going to try to break down simulation theory. Just so you know.
Yeah, buckle up.
Buckle up.
Oh my
That's what I
goodness!
Oh, oh geez.
Wow. Yeah. What's up?
Hello, X-ray girl. How are you?
Hello. I am doing very well. So I had a nap earlier, but I was sleeping at my brother's house last night because we went to a wedding for a family member, and the baby was crying at least a solid hour, and that was one of the hours the baby was crying. And
Wow.
so I, didn't sleep well. I feel bad for parents. This is a nice little look into what life could be. My favorite part was when my sister-in-law was crying with the baby to go to sleep. So yeah, I
How old?
that 2.5 weeks.
Oh wow.
Weeks.
Oh, it's a very fresh baby.
Okay. Well, mine is 4 weeks today, and is not the same thing. He has been super mellow.
Oh, okay.
It
So,
changes.
I'm just-
It changes.
Just letting you know, they're not all like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys do it, but yeah, I'm excited to talk about simulation theory. I think one of the things that a lot of people kind of reflect on just inherently is like, why are we here? Is there a reason? And this gives a possible look into an option if you are even open to it. But,
Yeah.
the more I look into it, the more I kind of feel like I believe it might be it.
Possibilities.
Oh, I see. X-ray girl.
Yes.
Turned you into a pincushion. It was terrible.
She
I
got
didn't know
that
you were
last
on
shot
that
up.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a very prominent in the last episode, although I had to look up her name, and it was Rianne, by the way, which is funny because that's what I call Rianne Johnson.
You know,
Did she have any lines in the show? I don't
yeah,
remember.
She did.
her
Like,
speaking.
like
what's
small-
that? And holy crap! And
Yeah.
What's this? What are we gonna do?
You know what? I would rather die that way than being pushed off a wall. So
True.
Gut laughed when that happened. That was funny.
And then the guy just like, "Wah!"
I know.
Perfect.
I had a heroic death. It's fine.
You did. Good shot, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, sorry we're late. That's my fault.
How are you, Gary?
I had to feed the dogs. I'm good. I'm waking up a little bit. I'm a slow, I woke up 20 minutes ago. So
Oh wow.
I'll be good. I'll be good and up.
Let's
in about
dive
10
deep
minutes.
into quantum physics then.
Yeah. Well, I was watching. I watched Lex Friedman's stuff.
Mhm.
I watched a bunch of little videos on it. I watched the Y
Yeah.
Files, and then I watched that documentary that you said
That
that
was
was
a good
really
one.
good. And I completely do not understand it, but I believe it.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's not like this theory made the rounds in 2003, but people actually civilizations have been talking about it since way back, since they didn't have a word for simulation. But there are tribes that thought we were just like we're like some, it wasn't a game. I can't remember. I'm going off of memory here, but that, you know what, our reality is not the reality. This is something humans have thought about since they can think. Now, when did they start thinking and consciousness, and what is that nature? I think it's great that that documentary points out right up front that we have no idea what it is. We have no idea.
Yeah. What is consciousness?
What is consciousness? What differentiates us from the animals or anything else? Are we just programmed with it? Who knows? The answer could just be yes for everything.
42.
42.
That's
that little comedy book is pretty deep philosophically. Like
Yes.
that's why that little comedy book known as Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is one of the great reads of all time. And it was just a guy, he even admits, Douglas Adams admitted, like, hey, when I was writing it, it was just jokes. It was just what was funny. And I was never meaning to be prophetic. In his very last interview, he was prophetic, right? Which was just some one-off. He had just given a talk in San Francisco, and some guy was just talking to him off the cuff on a camera. It's on YouTube, and was just asking, what do you think, what do we have for the future? And he was just talking about entertainment information, and he was right about interactivity, basically interactivity, authenticity. It's going to go back to reaching out and being at one with the audience instead of just talking at them from a CD or from a recorded TV show. It's going to go back to the way it was in vaudeville. And he was fucking right. Like, he's absolutely right that that's where things are going now. So, it's, you know, what's funny is reading the comments on some of those videos is like, well, if we're a simulation, the guy playing me is fucking sucks.
I am losing.
Okay. And then I need some of the cheat codes, but, and maybe some people have them. There's maybe some people who can figure out the patterns of life, because there is cyclical patterns. It is not entirely random. And they point this out in the whole like spiral fractaling out thing. And how that image is repeated through nature. It's repeated through just through cycles of life. It's pretty crazy to think about. And it's worth thinking. And it's not anything you can test scientifically, that like we're not even close. Not we're thousands of years away from even figuring this out. But the fact that we are now conscious enough to even start to grasp it is interesting.
And it seems that you can't test it because it limits you. The universe that we are in is limited. Our scope of observation is limited. With the slit test, where you shoot the particles and it's supposed to be waves, but it turns back into a particle. It's like the way you observe nature changes nature. So you'll never know the actual down to the base ones and zeros, if we will, of what makes up our universe, because we're just locked off away from it. So I think that aspect so amazing to me, because I like the religious aspect. I am a Christian. I believe in God and I believe in Jesus, and that to me sounds like the way he would build it is because we can't know the inner workings of God and why he created us and how he created us in such a way, right? So for us to then get to a level where we can see particles, but they're hidden away from us in a way. That kind of is amazing to me. It feels like a confirmation.
Yeah.
Of some kind of creative aspect behind everything, behind our universe, behind us, behind consciousness. There's something that is like holding it together. It's not just random it's not just random events. There's something that's holding it together. Energy, is it consciousness itself? Is it a god? That's what we're all trying to figure out.
Pure energy.
Well, what is God but energy? If you called God an energy, we all return back to God, or we all return back to energy, and we turn into something else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel I've been reading a lot of people's comments because a bunch of people have been discussing it in my post that I asked, and I feel the difference between the religious viewpoint of, like you said it, like we return to God after we die, right, or return to where He's at, or the people who aren't religious that think that it's a simulation. Then once the simulation ends, right, when you die, you return to the base reality, I guess, right, or the previous simulation, because there could be simulations within simulations. But when I take a step back and look, because I'm not religious, but I'm also I'm open to the idea of religion, right? I'm open to the possibility of anything, essentially. And I'm looking at this, and there really is very little difference to me between a simulated reality via computing, because when you think about what a simulated universe is, the simulation theory, we automatically assume it is based on a computing system, like it's a computer software running, instead of what if it isn't like a software per se, that we think of what a software runs a simulation, right? How we play video games, like Second Life. That's a video game that you're playing a life. But what if this is way more complex, way more complicated? There is a physicist, Miyakaku. Is that his name?
He's on a lot of the like Ancient Aliens.
He's great.
He's been on there a few times.
Right. So he talks about
simulation
theory isn't possible because the only thing powerful enough to run a simulation as big and as complex as the universe is the universe itself running the simulation. And I'm thinking, like, well, there's your answer then. Why, if a group of people or entity was able to create a simulation this powerful, wouldn't it then be said that that same entity or group of intelligence would be able to harness a universe to simulate another one? I don't know. I just feel like it's man, I'm getting lost in my own thought. It's so complicated.
It's a fascinating thing to think about.
But do you understand what I'm saying? There's no difference between religion and simulation theory. It's the same thing. I think if religion is real,
who do you think the programmer is? Who do
you think the programmer is? So that's what I wrote in research. I said, who is or what is God? Well, like, what is God? Because God is the programmer. Because to the ultra religious, they believe the Earth is only 6,000 years old or something, or I don't exactly know when
young Earth.
They thought
young Earth
went, went like that. God went like this, and then He created everything. And like, isn't that just the same thing as just turning the game on? It
is.
What's the difference?
The creationist, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
The difference, I guess, would be God is the ultimate creator, and there's nothing else outside of Him. So, like, if you're a programmer and you're programming a simulation, that implies that there is an actual base reality that has, like, who created that base reality, right?
No. The base reality means it is
the base of the argument. Why don't you read the?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Bostrom.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Bostrom's theory.
So this has been around for a long time, as Gary said, but it came back onto the scene in 2003 when Dr. Bostrom wrote a paper called "Are You Living in a Computer Simulation?" And he had 3 arguments that was the premise of this paper, and they are as follows. Number 1, all human-like civilizations go extinct before developing the capability to create simulated realities. In this scenario, it's unlikely that we're living in a simulation, right? Because we personally have not been able to create a life-like civilization within a simulation, right? The second argument is no civilization develops the capability to create simulated realities. Again, it's unlikely that we're living in a simulation. So that means.
Can you share the image, X-Ray Girl? Didn't you put it in?
I took a screenshot of
Yeah.
Of basically a breakdown of his theory. If you would like to bring it up, it's It's not too far up. It's just.
Thanks, Garrett.
You got it. Okay. Now, if both of these two, and he argues, he says, if these two aren't the case, then you must accept the third principle or the third argument, and that is advanced civilizations do develop the capability to create simulated realities, and in this case, it's likely that we're living in a simulation. So, if you look at the first two, right at the top, the arguments. So this is what it's all revolving around. It's that we destroy ourselves before we're even able to create the simulated reality, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, we have nukes. We have been fighting forever. That's just human nature to fight and kill each other, right? But like, who knows?
I heard it also was described as a filter. So you become
the great filter.
Yeah, you get to a point where you discover some kind of aspect of like splitting the atom.
Yep.
And that is what prevents you from getting to the point where you could create a simulation to that height. So there's a physical aspect of our reality that if we understand it, we are inevitable to destroy ourselves, or ourselves as in like on Earth, but any civilization across the universe. If another civilization many light years away discovers this, they will destroy themselves before they get to this point.
So it says here, Bostrom's conclusion is that at least one of these possibilities is true. And since we have no evidence to disprove the third option, it's plausible that we're living in a simulation. So it's not proving it per se, but it is saying we can't prove that it isn't a simulation. And there is no way to prove it, because if this is a simulation, it's so good a simulation as to make it so we can't tell the difference. So we'll never actually know until the simulation ends. And even then, it might just end. Who knows, right? And there's another thing about whether or not consciousness is... Take the Matrix, for example. The Matrix, every conscious being in the Matrix had a physical being, a physical body, a connection point to the base reality, right? When they woke out of the Matrix, they woke up in reality. But there's I forget the scientist's name. He talks about how there is... It's gonna bug me. I wrote his name down, didn't I? It doesn't matter. Let's just explain it though. We could be conscious that the simulation itself created, right? So we might not actually have a connection point. We might be sentient beings within the simulation, and I found that very interesting.
So like in Matrix, there's the programs that are in the Matrix that are beings inside of the Matrix, or like Tron as well.
NPCs.
Yes, but there's a
NPCs, I guess, right?
There's a French psychologist,
or a combination. We could be a combination.
He lived in a French philosopher, René Descartes. He said something along the lines, I'm paraphrasing because I don't exactly remember, but something along the lines of, the fact that consciousness exists, we can't deny that, like, because I'm conscious, right? Mm-hmm. I can't deny that I'm conscious because I exist. I know I am alive right now. I'm talking. Because no one can disprove that my reality is true. I really wish I could.
That's the difference, right? So
quote written down.
You've got like the Matrix, where if you're in the Matrix, you're a person that is outside of this simulation that has a simulated version of you, or you're a program that's inside the Matrix and that is your reality. Period. Like if that's how you experience life, it doesn't matter.
Play
There's
this
only
video.
That.
At 22 minutes and 25 seconds, I actually that's the quote from him that I wanted to play from this René. It's the last thing, the
Elon
one with Elon Musk, Waking Cosmos Simulation Theory. Yeah, 22:25.
22:25.
Yeah, and it basically talks about this guy talking about reality, and it's a great quote, and I totally botched it, and I knew I put it somewhere. So it's great.
22, 23.
Yeah, it's in like
Nonetheless,
5 seconds.
unmistakably conscious. After all, consciousness, as the philosopher René Descartes famously observed, is the one thing in reality that can never be doubted.
No,
Pause
keep
it,
going.
I'm just pausing it
Oh,
just in case.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Just in
Go
case we
watch
get
this
dinged.
video. It's a really good video. I watched the whole thing. It's really good.
Yeah, this is good. This is
A
good.
I'll
conscious,
link in the
simulated
description.
mind, if such a thing is possible, would nevertheless be a real mind with real experiences, and would therefore be an unmistakably real vector of moral and ethical significance.
Okay. So he's saying, like, even if it's a simulated, like, even if we are programs, right? If I'm a program and I don't exist outside of this reality, this simulated reality, it doesn't mean I'm not real. It doesn't mean that I don't have sentience and a conscious in this reality, whether or not it's simulated or not. I still exist. And I just found that very interesting.
There's a question though. To put it on our level, so say we are base reality. We're writing the program. We're writing the simulation. Do we see programs inside of a simulation as sentient? To them, they may think that they are as important as anything else because they exist and they think that they exist. But do we, as the programmers, see them as on our level? I would say probably not. So if we were simulated, then our creators or our programmers wouldn't see us as on the same level. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No,
Yeah,
of course not. They'd be like Sims. They would look at us like Sims. So the whole
Sims.
point, the whole point of one of the theories is you build the ancestral program to show what life used to be. I really thought this is where Westworld was going, right? Like when they first started Westworld, I
wish they did.
It was. That's where it was going, and then it got canceled after it got turned into some girl boss fucking.
In
intersectional
2016
shit.
happened.
Yeah, but
So stupid.
It was definitely like an archival ancestral program to maybe look back and see how life used to be to a civilization that forgot it, moved past it, or it's an alien, whatever was looking back on it, or it was just perpetually just it was, or everybody's dead and the only thing still running is the program. That therefore is that life now? I thought that's where it was going, but like what kind of evidence is that this is purely theoretical? And it was so it wasn't even brought on by like math or physics. It was brought on by it was a psychologist, right? It was
it's thought experiments.
And you know, what's been talked about like in our sphere is deja vu. You know, the Berenstain Bears and the Mandela Effect, and I think that is certainly something we should think about, though, now that science is really looking at the string theory starting to fall apart a little bit. That's the beginnings of the
we haven't even gotten into that yet.
It's starting to fall apart a little bit mathematically, apparently, or it never really had a foundation. I'm not going to pretend I totally understand, but I've listened to a bunch of stuff where it's like, no. And there was a certain sect of scientists who were really pushing it and helped like ruin careers if you didn't agree with it.
What a surprise.
What a shock. I know we've never seen that happen when anything different happens, but I think it should all be on the table. But the thing is, we're still monkeys doing math. So I you know, like physics changes. It does. The more we discover, you know, Adam, I think what really brought this on last week was not the Hubble telescope. I'm blanking on the James Webb telescope.
We're going to talk about it too. We're going to talk about
on the
that.
list.
Or do you want to bring that up?
Let's do it.
Because like,
go ahead, explain it.
The more we're figuring about, they're finding parts of the universe that do not behave the way math says it should. Basically, you know, when they say, "Well, it's not behaving like it should," no, it's not behaving like our math that we use to figure it out. It the way they thought it should. So it's still behaving the way it's going to fucking behave, and we're understanding it. But I love how they phrase it like, "Well, space is not behaving like it should." Well, you know, listen, listen, you chimp. That's pretty funny. Yeah, keep throwing poop. But
Yeah.
that like, and it's based a little bit on. We've also got other evidence that things behave differently when they're observed and when they're not observed. And do they behave at all when they're not
Right.
observed, or are they just being rendered when we observe them?
Like a video game. I thought, even when I was a little kid, I thought, what's happening to the spaces where nobody's looking? Like, if I'm not looking at a corner and you're not looking at a corner, nobody is. Is it still there? You know, does a tree make a sound in the woods?
So yeah, philosophy on all that, does it really exist if we didn't?
Does it
see all?
exist? Is what's behind my hand? Nothing, maybe. Why does it need to render?
The
Does it need to
answer
be
is
there?
the bear shitting in the woods can hear it.
Ah, he's
There you
making
go.
his own sounds.
He's making his own sounds.
Adam, do you want to go through the James Webb space?
Sure.
Telescope.
So, well, should we do the slit experiment first?
And then get to this?
and then come
Yeah.
back to this.
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
come
yeah,
back. Let's
yeah.
come back to this. Bring up the second meme I just posted in research, if you don't mind. So I found a couple memes, and they're just so good. Memes are so fantastic.
I almost used this as the thumbnail.
It would have been funny. So to me, I was looking into this a while back because Nisha discovered the Y files, and we watched just, I don't even know how many. Her and I just like binged some Y files, which is great, you know. And one of them we watched was simulation theory, and we both were discussing simulation theory for a while because he talks about the slit experiment, and he goes into it on a level that I didn't actually know about, and that is. So this is a representation of the slit experiment, and in meme format, it's great. So at the top, the particles are in wave form, and that's why you see all the different lines, because the two waves are passing through the two slits and then interacting with each other, and that's why you see that cascade of different lines, right? And then once you observe them, the wave function collapses, and it goes just to the two lines. So when you observe the particles, their behavior changes. And that, to me, for a very long time, this goes back to, I learned about this when, what was that movie? What the Bleep Do We Know? You guys watch that movie? It came out decades ago. I saw this movie so long ago.
Well, let's also mention
2008 or something. I don't remember.
When we mean observed, it's not just a dude looking at it. Okay, no, it's a device.
Anything.
It's a device
Anything
looking at
observing
it,
it.
and it can
Right.
tell when the device is unplugged.
Yes.
So it can
It's
tell
crazy.
when it's being observed by anything at any time. And they tried to trick it by unplugging the device and keeping it up there, and it figured it out. So
it knew.
So what is it? What the fuck? That's crazy.
It's reality. Something is causing these particles to change, and that blew me away. And I've known about this for a long time, and I've never could understand it. I always in the back of my head that Adam's using meme science. Damn straight, I'm evolving. But one thing that the Y files goes a step further. They talk about another experiment that was set up after this whole thing with starlight. They chose a star that was 100,000 light years away.
Yep.
And they did the same experiment. And what they found was the exact same results. So they were getting the wave just at the top half that you see, they were getting that same readings. And then once they observed it, it collapsed and became the bottom half. And what that means, according to what I don't fully understand it myself, I don't pretend to, but what they explained is that the light went all the way back to the source and changed.
It went
back.
It went 100,000 years back in time and changed itself.
But you have to understand, though, that's going back 100,000 years, changing and going forward 100,000 years to the moment of when you observe it.
Well, that moment of
is it outside of time?
That moment of 100,000 years ago changed once it was observed. So that would technically be outside of time. Other than when that light existed, it always existed the same way throughout space and time, which I can't get my head around. But quantum entanglement.
Absolutely. Right. Well, that I feel is another thing. Quantum entanglement. That's a whole other Schrodinger's
Can of
bag.
worms.
We'll just call it like, yeah, that's a different box.
But it's crazy to think about that, and that means that either that light or stars or those particles operate on a completely different plane than we do, obviously,
Yeah.
but they're still here. So maybe they're in all planes at all time, and maybe they're
Exactly.
part of the source of the multiple realities there are, or the machine. They keep on bringing up like the power it would take to run a simulation theory, and they're like, it would take thousands, millions of Dyson spheres and all this.
Right.
And I'm like, well, we keep thinking about things in power sources, but I'm just a dummy, but we're all what the Matrix taught a lot of people, and shouldn't have, that we're all little power sources. We're all self-perpetuating power sources. This is shit I thought about, especially when I was on acid. I'm like, maybe we're just organic robots, man. Maybe we're just fucking machines. Maybe we're just drones, self-replicating drones that can farm the land and run out this little ant farm or experiment. Not really sure, but that's fucking weird. And this is something, and I love the basis of that documentary. Like, we're trying to like do hard science here, but we can't because it's non-testable. But it does show that the nature of our reality is very strange, which I've always thought. The cosmic accident thing just doesn't really fly with me. There's too many weird coincidences. There's too
much. There's just too much.
The way our moon operates with our planet is so fucking perfect. It's the odds against it are astronomical. And a pretty smart dude, Elon Musk, said there's
1 in billions.
1 in billions
that we're in the base reality.
Right.
Right. Because if there is a simulation, then that simulation that above us could also be a simulation. If what did he say? If there's a 1% improvement of technology in any way, given enough time, it can get to the point where it would simulate a reality.
Yep.
And you just keep going down. It's turtles all the way down.
Well, that's when Lex Friedman and Joe Rogan were talking about simulation theory, and Joe Rogan said it's the same thing with like just phones, for example. You look at your phone. Like, I've got a decent phone. I don't need. I had the phone I had before this. I had for 7 years, and I finally just replaced it last year. I don't need to get a new phone for a while, but it's not to say that we should just be like, phones are good enough. Let's just stop making new phones. That's not in our nature. We're going to constantly make them better and better and better, and then we're going to have Ready Player One come into existence. Zuckerberg's already trying to push metaverse, although it looks like shit at the moment. It's only a matter of time before you have contacts or Neuralink or some sort of system where then boom, the hologram exists like Star Trek, but you're not even moving. You're just in your brain in another simulation. It's only a matter of time before we understand how to actually get there, unless, of course, going on
filter.
Going on the first one, are we going to destroy ourselves before we get to that point? Because I don't think it's number 2. I think we are absolutely going to create a simulation. It's just, that's where we're headed. We're already doing it with video games and the way that we've used technology. We're moving in that direction. It's only a matter of time. So are we going to destroy ourselves before we're able to do that? I don't think 2 is an option. I think it's either 1, we're on our way, and we're going to destroy ourselves, or we're in a simulation, right?
Or a random element destroys us.
Good point.
Like a big rock.
Yeah. A big rock hits us.
I think when we say us as in beings that are alive in this universe. Because it could be another planet far away that creates not a civilization, but a simulation that is then now another layer down the onion. It doesn't necessarily have to be physically us humans on Earth. It could be anybody alive.
Right. All right, now bring up the James Webb Space Telescope.
Now that we brought that up.
So the reason why I wanted to talk about the slit experiment is because I wanted to talk about the Y-files and the distance from where they tested the slit experiment on a star 100,000 light years away. Now it's like taking it to another level. So I'll just read this here. The James Webb Space Telescope is seeing further into space than anything ever has, and the data is confusing scientists, unsurprisingly. They cannot figure out why space is behaving dramatically differently depending on where we look. Well, this is Jordan Crowder on X. He's great. As we observe new areas of space, they are forced to render. The wave function collapses, and everything must choose from the probability distribution field and snap into reality. Since these areas separated from each other by vast distances, they aren't influenced by other previously observed areas as much. So these newly observed areas can act quite differently. Based on the observer effect, we know that our conscious observation is what causes waves of probability to render into particles of matter and choose their states. Now with the James Webb Space Telescope, we are rendering very far off sections of space likely never rendered before. In cosmology, this would imply a sort of quantum scale interaction on the cosmic scale, where observation impacts the fabric of reality itself, bridging quantum mechanics and general relativity in ways that mainstream science hasn't begun to wrap its mind around. Okay, I can barely wrap my mind around this. All right, this is entering a world of quantum scale interactions on a cosmic scale. Like, that is incredible. Like, I'm not smart enough for this kind of stuff, but I can see what they're saying. I can understand that it's trying to explain what is happening when the James Webb Space Telescope is observing these insanely far places, and they don't understand why it's moving the way that it is.
Do you ever see maps of Minecraft, like from the top view, like huge, where you're just seeing the chunks,
the edges, especially?
Where you're just seeing the chunks that you've entered into. So the way the game's built, it's got chunks. I think it's like 34 by 34, whatever, chunks of space, and it only renders that chunk, and you can't see further than that. And once you walk into another chunk, it renders that, and then it renders another one, it renders another one. So this is basically, we have never rendered out that far. It basically doesn't exist to us until now we're seeing it because we have a tool that can see it. And so now it's like, now it exists.
Yep. Well, it's like when I was on BattleNet in Diablo back in the day on my dial-up, and it would have to catch up. I mean, that was pretty much it.
It's lagging. We're in IRL lag right now.
Yeah,
that's funny. Didn't even think
crazy.
About lag.
It's well, I mean, you know, and it might be our own personal lag. Well, I'll speak for myself, but you know, it's all depends on the bandwidth, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That Canadian internet.
Yeah, Canadian internet. But it's an interesting thing to think about. Me and Orestes would get in like heated debates about this because I was like, it's full of shit. And then ultimately I just go, who gives a fuck? Like, what can I do about it? Like, if I'm in a simulation,
like, why?
Like, what exactly can I do about it? I might as well just play the game and, you know, hope the guy or girl playing me, you know, just doesn't, you know, give up or, you know, I don't fucking know.
Make the wrong decision or something.
Made plenty of wrong decisions about that. But
you were on level 1. You were early in the game. Now you're expert level, high level.
I don't know about that, but for sure, what the interesting thing that I have trouble getting my head around is this: they were getting into this simulation being the basis for a reality and a self-perpetuating reality, like a self-perpetuating machine. So somebody from another reality created another reality who is eventually going to create another reality who's going to create another reality. But these realities, we're still.
There's a Rick and Morty episode about that.
We're not like there is. But you know, we're not like the MCU where we're not a part of King's plan. They talk about, like, because we're conscious, we are individuals within this simulation. So we're still individuals with thoughts and feelings and real experiences within the simulation. And then we're going to eventually create another one, you know, and we're in the early days of that right now. What does it mean? I love philosophically what they talked about was, well, this sounds a lot like creation theory, you know, like, that many religions have. And there is the Y-Files brought this up. There are atheists who have now made their own theology, basically their own creation theory.
The programmer programmed all of us.
Programmer. We'll just change the name, higher power, whatever.
Programmed us with free will, so we may
God,
choose
right?
to believe the programmer or not to believe in the programmer.
Yes, but I believe in simulation theory and the great programmer. You mean God?
Just another religion.
Cool. All right. Well, whatever. Whatever that was, whether if it's the giant neck beard in the sky, like the guy playing World of Warcraft from South Park. Don't know, but I think it's fascinating to see that even in science, they're trying to figure out like what's the meaning of life, why are we here, and instead of just doing it in such a static form of like, well, it's only what we can test. It's getting into like, real deep philosophical discussions for people who can be a little, insular. Academia can be a bit insular. We see evidence of that. I mean, we humans do that. It's human nature, but it's also human nature to kind of ponder, since we're conscious, like, what is the meaning of all this? And then we eventually go, fuck it, and go about
I gotta go to work, man.
I gotta get to work,
Yeah.
But especially when you're like a teenager and you're dropping acid, you have a lot of time to think about it.
What is your thought of if you found out you were in a simulation and that meant that everything around you was not real, your kids, your loved ones, would you then want to leave? Because there's a great episode of Justice League on that.
Oh,
where Superman, he has everything he ever wanted. He's on Krypton. He has a family. He has a son. He loves his son. He's spending all this time with his son, and then he realizes that it's all fake. It's not real. He's in a simulation, and he knows that the right thing to do is to leave this perfect world, his son that is real to him. He spent his whole life with this kid, but he knows he's not real, and he knows that there's real people that need his help. So what is like the moral obligation to coming to the real life? Wanda.
What is real though? Right?
How do you define real?
Well, to me, this steak is real. Okay.
Okay. Well, you what you're explaining is something completely different. How I was thinking, if I could unplug and there was the option, like in the Matrix, would I? Probably. Right. But if all you could do was just exist in the simulation, what's the point of leaving your family love?
In the Matrix, it is the decision to unplug, live a fucking terrible life where you have to go live in caves and eat paste and fight a power that you're not going to beat. It's going to take generations to beat it, if you can beat it at all, on a completely scorched earth.
Well, then you find out that you're working with it. It was all a big scheme.
And then you watch the Matrix 4.
Like a baby face there.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Matrix 4. I didn't even think about that.
Then you absolutely want to just go back in the pod and
just
forget everything.
Oh, put that back.
Yeah. But like that's the question in the Matrix.
That's the quandary of that.
Yeah. Kind of like Canada.
Was Cypher right?
Was Cypher right? He was, in a way. But I don't know. I think,
because if I found out and I didn't know what was on the other side, I'm not leaving my kids and my wife. Like, I'd rather spend the rest of my fake life with them, because they mean more to me than anything that I think never met before.
If we're a simulation, I think all of our independent thoughts are part of a greater program. So where it goes to God at the end is, what if we're some kind of meta consciousness that's all part of one, and that one consciousness is experiencing multiple consciousness through individuals to gain
I love
more
that
information.
explanation.
That's God.
That sounds like God. He
just
created it
God.
to experience all these different, because in the Christianity thought, God is in all of us. He is part of us. We are part of him, right? So that would explain that. He's experiencing life through everybody's experiences.
Yeah.
A great explanation.
It makes me think of that quote from Rene Descartes, that French philosopher that I brought up earlier. You asked what was real, and he was saying, like, consciousness and reality is undeniable to the person that is conscious, right? To me, I'm conscious. So if I find out that I live in a simulation, that doesn't deny that I'm conscious within the simulation or that my reality is real or not, because to me it is real, right? So like my son, you know, I wouldn't want to leave, right? Because this reality, I love my reality. I love what this is real to me.
What I would do, that knowledge is power, Adam. So if you had undeniable evidence that I am in a simulation, I would spend the rest of my days enjoying my life, and in my spare time trying to find cheat codes. That's what I would try.
Bending that spoon, man, because
there it is.
It doesn't exist.
Yep.
That I like. That is where I'd be like, all right, wow, okay, well,
that's also
I don't want to leave
your
it.
Life. That's also
exactly
right.
Exactly.
Back down to why does it matter? You know,
all the way back in the beginning. There's no difference. Doesn't make a difference, right? It doesn't make a difference whether or not it's a simulation, and if it is, it's no different than religion. It's all the same thing. It's just
here's an example.
It's a different perspective.
It's a different religion, right?
From recovery and being conscious of this and working it through my program recovery, it is I can actually. Like I have an ability now that I did not have 20 years ago, that I didn't have 10 years ago, which is I'm feeling like shit. Something like some random event that I have no power of is starting to bother me, like the news or something. And like, I can just go, that doesn't bother me anymore. Fuck that. I'm not going to let this thing have control over me. I have no power to change any of this right now. Fuck it. I'm going to go about my day. And I'm able to just shut that shit down now and move past it. And it's so good. It feels so free to not like let some outside force or thing just fuck up one of your days on Earth.
Huge stoicism.
Yeah. You know, and it's just, you know, not giving a fuck, but it's a little more complicated than that because, you know, listen, we're all human. And like sometimes this stuff is affecting us. We don't even know it. And it's being aware that like, oh God, why am I like looking at, you know, somebody gives you shit on Twitter. Like, why be upset about that? Like, you don't know what's behind it. You don't know if the person was joking. You don't know if the person's retarded. You don't know if the person's 12. You don't know anything. And you're like, why am I even fucking care? Why do I care? Yeah. And you move on. And and again, this is something that took me years to fucking learn, you know? And it's freeing. So that's your cheat code. But I would spend the rest of my days like, oh man, like, how do I get to work faster? Like, how do I get to sleep faster? How do I not do as much work? How do I get better at it? You know.
But again, life.
It's called life.
So,
life.
Do you think we live in a simulation?
Yes, of a sorts. I think we do.
So now,
like a simulation, like The Sims. No, I think
that brings up another perspective, right? What is a simulation, right? To me, I'm existing. My conscious is in this meat sack that I'm, you know, waving my hands around right now. I everything that I'm existing in could be a simulation, and if it isn't, then what is it?
I have a harder time believing that there was a void and then the universe just jump started one day.
Bring that picture up. I wanted to talk about this.
Being in a simulation.
There's right above the Fermi paradox.
Unless there's some sort of outside universe and it got sucked through a black hole and created this one. Okay, I can get my head around that. But like just something got really hot and blew up one day and created
what was that?
What?
So one of my favorite questions to ask anyone is, do you believe in the Big Bang Theory? And whether or not you believe it or if you do believe in it, what existed before it? Right? What was reality before the Big Bang happened and created the universe? And if you don't believe in the Big Bang Theory, then what created life? Did it always exist? Was it always can you explain the expansion of the universe as it's expanding? You know, there is a center. So
is
everything
it expanding?
Came from one
is
point.
It spinning? Is like, what's it doing? Like,
well, from what I understand, it's expanding.
Everything else
they've proven. So this, you know, life in this universe can go on for 1 trillion years. Like who know? Like insane to us to fathom that amount, because like
Yeah.
we're that point. Life on Earth is a little tiny speck of a speck on a little tiny speck of dust, and it's like 4 specks deep. I understand, but like right there, that's it. And we're to believe that no other technologically advanced civilization existed before, or I mean after, we don't know yet, because we exist on a timeline in our reality that we can't see forward. But we talked about the slit experiment, that there exists something that can travel back and forward through time and alter its state. That blows me away. I can't really even fathom it, but that's what that experiment shows. So does time exist for all things, all particles? It doesn't seem to be the case.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't explain that other than it being either a higher dimension at work, like maybe light or these wave functions, or these things exist in multiple dimensions. Like we never really talked about that, but I mean, that could be. Who knows? I don't know. But what happened before? Do you believe in the Big Bang, X-Ray?
I feel like I do, but it's like I'm just but 100 years in the millions and billions of years that exist. I'm more concentrated on what's happening even now to understand that than to go back and think, oh my God, Big Bang, all of this creation and bringing us to this point. So maybe when I figure out why I exist now, I'll go back to the past.
The Big Bang was somebody hitting the power button.
Yeah, everything.
That's what it seems
being
like.
created.
It could be.
Mm-hmm.
Or God went, all right,
potential energy.
There's the light.
Right, yeah, like the whatever that potential energy was turned into actual energy.
And it's like, what, 7 days to create everything? Well, what is 7 days?
Yeah, is it 7 millennia? Is it 7 trillion years? Is it billions? And what does that 7 days mean?
That time doesn't exist to someone. What it could be, whatever. Like, I'm gonna snap my fingers and I'm gonna put life here, boom, and then that's where we are now. I don't know. It's crazy to think about.
I like one of the documentaries, and I can't remember because I like crammed a bunch in my head earlier. It explained how humans have been creating simulations since the dawn of time. Depictions on the walls of caves are simulated realities of our reality,
and a lower dimension,
right?
Because it's a 2D reality,
yeah,
which is cool to think about. What we're doing there, we are creating simulations in a lower dimension, in a 2D universe. So like, wouldn't that make sense that something in a higher dimension is creating a dimension? Like we are basically
lower
cave
dimension.
paintings for a 5D being.
Oh yeah, I mean we do it all
Right?
the time. We simulate just theorizing population changes and food growth and all that on such a small scale, and then there has to be someone who can do that look at our speck of dust, compared to the universe.
Yeah, is it simulating an hypothesis of trying to find out data? Because then that would be a certain type of simulation. Or is it just trying to simulate like a movie? Like Elon Musk had a great analogy for it. Is like it takes months and months and months to shoot an action movie, but you don't see all the stuff when you watch the movie. You just watch the filtered down to just the best parts, just the story beats, just all that stuff. Right? So is the simulation a simulated version of the higher, the base reality or whatever it is? Like, is that super boring and sucks? And then they condensed it down into this, and this is the best parts?
We are in the post-DEI simulation, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We're in it. Makes me think of a Douglas Adams quote. If life is a dream, I wonder whose it is and if they're enjoying it. Deep.
That's good.
Douglas Adams, man.
Yeah.
Love those books.
Those books are great. You should read them. Oh, we don't have no UFO news today. Oh man, I hate it when I bookmark stuff on my phone and I bookmark it on my desktop, and it's not the same. It's fucking retarded. Get that together, Twitter. But
Come on.
I heavily rely on bookmarks.
I
But you
have
put
way
up
too many bookmarks.
Well, you put
Thousands.
up that one of the plane where the UFO.
Yeah,
passed the
but
plane. Now,
I think we watched that.
Yeah, UFOs
We
come
have,
into
yeah.
simulation theory too, and they're either outside it, they're the techs, or they're just not in it, or aliens aren't in it. We'll find out.
Right.
Find out.
What if they're like the programs coming in to just edit things?
Oh, speaking of the program, end of the month, James Fox documentary comes out. Well, I think it's sooner than that. I think it's a couple weeks. No, it's 20. No, it's later in the month. It's like 26th. A lot of shit coming out next month. I keep saying this month because I want it to be October, but it's not. But it's not.
Still got to go to Peru, man.
We got to go to Peru. I'm gonna be touching some of those rocks.
I know we're gonna be just filling up those
Touching
rocks.
things and sexy woman.
I'm gonna be filling up sexy
Sexy
woman.
woman.
You know?
Yeah, I'm gonna be feeling up sexy woman.
Just in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm gonna me too the shit out of those rocks. I'm gonna
I can't say nothing. They're
those
rocks.
So, yeah, that's gonna be fun. I'll be. I probably should like eat something before I go there. I've been actually like trying to get in shape. You know, it's been working and ready to walk, and it's gonna be kind of nothing anyway. I'm used to.
I'm trying to over prepare for the hikes.
X-Ray Girl's really
Good.
happy right now. You noticing that?
Oh, look,
I think she's frozen.
she's thinking about sexy woman.
She, all right, it's almost getting awkward.
Still there. Yeah. Oh,
She's not moving. All right.
Yeah.
She's cheesing. Yep.
I need to pack on probably a couple pounds because like I'm probably gonna not eat there.
yeah. What? I don't know what we're
Why?
gonna.
Why
I'm
not?
gonna get sick. Except
okay.
for the guinea pig.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I'm
eat the
not-
guinea pig.
I'm not
You can eat the
drinking
guinea pig.
I don't
Meaning
know,
the guinea
even the bottled water you're gonna have to wonder about. But I mean,
Yeah.
I say that about ours as well.
Mm.
I don't drink
Yeah.
bottled water in plastic bottles anymore. I gave that up.
Microplastics, dude. They
Smart.
find them in
Smart.
your
Last-
balls.
Yeah.
Yep. And in
In
your
your
brain
balls.
now.
Yeah. Your brain
Yeah.
tissue.
Yep. There she is. So yeah,
really
I'm probably
crazy.
not gonna eat much there.
How are we gonna do that? Because I don't trust the night like the hotel water.
You're gonna have to eat food though.
You got to eat. I mean, like we'll figure it out.
I don't know if
mean,
you have to eat food. You have to
chances
drink.
of getting chances of getting sick 50-50, at least for
Right.
now.
Just
Really?
be very
Like-
careful with
Very high.
vegetables and water. Just only bottled.
Vegetables. Why
Yeah,
vegetables?
because they wash the vegetables sometimes with water.
in water.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or
That
they
makes
don't wash
sense.
them at all. I don't know. We'll find out.
We'll find
Wow.
out.
We'll find out. Luke went there and had no problem. I think it
He,
mosquito.
Yeah,
he
that's
goes
right.
to all over the place, though. I feel like he's
Yeah.
and
probably immune to it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, I've been to
I-
Mexico, man. So like, and I've had. Oof. Ugh.
you had
Oh.
the runs.
Ooh.
Dude, it's brutal.
It's not fun.
It's not fun. But yeah, we'll find out.
I plan
Damn,
on
Montezuma.
making Gary make some videos on the different locations. So, what sites do you guys want to see videos on?
I got to
Comment
look at our
below.
tour itinerary so I can figure out like how we're gonna do Friday Night Tights.
I think we should do some like little information documents. So when we're there, we can do a little stand up. Be like, hey, we're in front of Sexy Woman. Look at her.
There's
She
one
was
thing
built
that
in blah 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 blah. You know, like I want to do the whole thing.
you told me about why Luke went down.
Yeah.
And we can't talk about it publicly, but that I want more information on that.
Oh, we're probably about to get it from his video.
Okay. Well, I would like you to check that out if you can, because I don't know how.
We'll
far it is.
personally figure it out.
I don't
Yeah.
think we can go. Like
There's-
No?
for us
Okay.
to-
All right.
for us to be
That's
able
true. It is like
to go, it's very difficult to get.
Okay.
get
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
All right,
part of
all
our
right.
Tour.
fine.
All
And
right.
we're- well, we're only there for a week. If we were there for a couple weeks.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Sorry, chat. I You'll understand
Teased him up.
when you
Go
see
subscribe
Luke's
to Luke.
video.
Luke's probably working on it right now. So
I can't wait
you will
to
find
watch
out
his video.
soon. That would be my guess. If he hasn't said it already, but it's up to him to say it. So I'd like to get Billy Carson on chat. I see that.
Yeah.
I'd get Billy
Love that.
Carson on,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
here's the I've talked about it before. Here's the truth about, like, you notice all these guests. You notice Michael Malice and Tulsi Gabbard and all the same, and now Billy Carson's in the rotation, goes on Joe Rogan. You notice how, like, it's kind of the same people cycling through. They all have They all have agents. They all have agents that set up these things. And I've had them approach me. Fuck no. I'm never gonna, like, why in the hell would I give somebody 10% to get me on something that I'm like,
For them to screw you over.
Yeah, no.
I've heard nightmare stories about agents.
I just
Personal
want to
friends of
say,
mine.
I really want Mike Barra to come back on the show. And
all
have
I have to do is ask him.
Can you ask Mike Barra to come back?
Yeah,
Because
can DM
I
him
feel
on
like
I feel like
He's
he
got
was
my
maybe
number. He's got
offended.
my phone
I
number.
was not offended.
I feel like him and I got off on the wrong foot, because I like Mike Barra, and I've been
Mike's
following
fucking
him.
Awesome.
And I like his takes on a lot of things. I think he's funny, and also that was a wild show without you, Gary. But it's crazy because, like, I see people talking about Mars and, like, alluding to the fact that there might be stuff there, and I'm like, every time I think about, like, oh yeah, Mike Barro's probably hyped, and I'm like,
I think there's stuff
it just
there. I absolutely think there's stuff there. Like 100%. I think there was a civilization there that it got completely fucking wiped out. It had fucking oceans. It had an atmosphere. Like, and we have one robot going around one area, and that one little fucking robot. Remember, there was never fucking water on Mars. It was impossible. Oh, now it's totally possible, and there's running water on Mars. There wasn't that much. Now there's fucking oceans of it below the surface. Are you fucking kidding me? Of course there was life there. John Carter was there. Didn't you see John Carter of Mars? It's one of my favorite stories of all time. By the way,
Princess.
Oh, I'll reach out to Mike. Mike's a good dude. Love Mike. He's funny as fuck on Twitter too. He doesn't give a shit. He just doesn't care. He I don't think he'll care. No,
clearly not.
Yeah. But yeah, like, so like I'll try to, we try to reach out to these people, and some of them, like, I think we can get, like, David Paulides. I think we can get him on. I'll reach out to, I think we can get him on. I've been dying to get Richard Dolan on, but there's, like, no real way to contact him. I don't think
Brian Forrester.
I think he just pumps and dumps on Twitter like most people do, which is kind of the smartest thing to do, to be honest with you. Just say your piece and move on and not give a fuck what happens after that. But but like, we're not in a network, right? And we don't have agents. Like, I don't know if you do, Adam, but I don't. And
No,
I
don't.
I won't. I just won't work like that.
We don't have an agent, right? No? Okay. No.
Yeah. No.
That's my producer. He sucks.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I said it.
Jamie, could you pull that up
No.
for me? Your producer?
I wish I had that quality of producer. It's just a mirror. It's just there's a mirror.
Just look back at the play button mirror.
I'm just looking in a mirror.
My boss is an asshole. I saw CERN get brought up in the chat. I blame CERN for
multiple
everything.
times.
Everything, absolutely everything. CERN is the reason the two towers aren't standing anymore. CERN explains the last 4 years. It explains Star Wars and Star Trek going to shit. I blame CERN. We got sucked through a micro black hole and shat out the other side into, like, retarded parody reality.
Yep.
We're living in a South Park episode. That's what it kind of feels like.
South Park had to just go like, hey man, we're just gonna make certain episodes. We're gonna skip all this election because it's just too wild. Because it's too hard to make an episode on how stupid all this is.
Yeah, where are they? Haven't done one since the Ozempic one.
They said they're skipping it. They're skipping all of the election, and they're gonna start up after everything's already finished.
Because they can't keep up with the parody anymore.
They're like, it's not worth it.
I just, you know what? I realized I didn't have South Park physical media, so I got all 26 seasons. Just yeah,
You got to
It
get
was
all
like
the games too.
$100. It's like $100, $110, but I got all 26 seasons. No, I don't know if the specials are on Blu-ray or not, but yeah, I'm just gonna go through that and go through that and Always Sunny again, and that's
Classic.
like
Yeah.
it's like it's good for your soul because I'll be laughing my ass off. But,
So
I
good.
started X-Files.
Good.
Started X. What do you
I
want?
saw you watching it. I like halfway through the first season.
Okay, I got to start watching it then.
We're on season 3.
3 of us are doing it.
We're on season 3.
Nice.
Where do you watch that, or do you have the physical?
We have the physical, but
I sailed the high
you can watch
seas.
it. You can watch it on Hulu if you have Hulu. But if not,
I could send you a website.
Or you could just get the complete series for. Let's see what it is right now. Let's see what it's going for.
Is it 1080p? Or
Free
is it
$3.99. $3.99.
Let's see. And
Need a 1080p or higher.
it's Blu-ray. No, for how old the show is, the transfer is decent.
Okay.
It's decent.
Sometimes those 90s shows are
it's
pretty
like
rough.
$150. It's like $150.
Not bad for the entire series.
Yeah, that's totally worth it.
Does that
Hours and
include the
hours and
movies too,
hours
or
of
do you have to
fun.
get those
That
separate?
is a month of a streaming service with live TV bundle.
Yeah.
A little, okay, it's double that. It's like what, $70-$80 now if you want a live TV bundle. That's what it is for YouTube TV, right? But yeah, so you pay $60 more and you got the thing forever and you can watch it whenever you want.
They can never go in and change it.
They can never
delete
go in and fucking
episodes.
change it.
Change
And
episodes.
there's some based shit about X-Files. They get into the like, we need to save the animals and the environment part, but then there's some other like, the government's always lying to you and they're poisoning the food and they're making the frogs gay.
True, they did.
Yeah,
they did that.
No, they there's a lot of based shit. I might be getting an actual alien from that show, a prop alien from that show.
What? Do we know which one?
Where are you gonna keep it?
I'm gonna probably hang it on the wall.
You gotta put it right there behind you.
Which wall though?
Should you put it like in a specimen jar or something? or
I'd have
Oh, that little
vessel
alien
of some
popcorn
sort?
jar.
Yeah,
that'd
the
be
alien-
great.
It's a little big for that.
Oh,
So
dang it.
Okay.
it's like 2.5 feet long. So
Wow, that's dope.
That's
I'm gonna hang it from my
big one.
ceiling behind me. So yeah, I might be getting a screen used alien from
Heck yeah.
X-Files.
Wow.
Dude, yeah, I think it's really good for the show. I think you guys should do it for research, because each episode is something that's pulled from fucking Art Bell. Like
I get that vibe. Yeah.
Cryptids. Did I say crypto? Not crypto.
Crypto.
Hey, who knows?
It's a mystery,
Maybe
you know?
a plot by the alien.
Cryptids. Yeah, it's
Instead of to the moon, it's to the mesa. Sorry.
to the mice.
From the moon.
It's okay. It was all right.
Yeah, not a good ending to Skinwalker. Not like
Mm,
yeah. We'll find
Yeah.
out.
fell flat.
But you know what? Ancient Apocalypse in like 2 weeks.
Oh shit,
Dude, while we're gone.
I am so freaking excited.
Well, it'll be a triumphant return. Well,
we'll
I
be
mean,
able
I
to
feel
watch
like
it on
when
a
you
plane.
return,
Yeah.
it'll
There's gonna be
be
so much to talk about.
the Peru trip. You know, I don't
Yeah.
even think we can do it till the following week after. So 2 shows, or the second show back, we can start hitting up the episodes.
Yeah.
Because you guys are going to be returning from Peru. Like, we got to talk about it. I want to know everything. I want to see slides. I want to see pictures.
Dude, that's gonna be
Dude,
fucking crazy because we hit the
camera
ground.
going
We
with lights.
that's
Dude,
good.
I'm
You're
ready.
bringing that.
This
I'm
guy.
freaking ready.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
Okay.
bring that because
I'm
I'll bring.
ready.
I'm bringing a microphone and a laptop. That's pretty much what I'm bringing.
Okay. Did any of you get a drone?
Not
No.
yet, but I'm
shame.
I'm probably gonna pick. No, I can pick one up.
Oh, you got to
You
get
got
one.
to.
They're
Yeah,
not
I'm gonna
that.
pick one up.
They're not that expensive, and they're.
Well,
gotta-
I'm
it's
gonna get
be
one of the
worth it.
cheaper ones
Fly
because
it.
like anytime I take any equipment out, it's like I'm gonna lose this.
Yeah. No.
But
It's
it'll be
probably a good
hopefully
way
it'll be
to
worth
look
it.
at
But
it.
yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Once we get back, it is San Antonio meetup,
Mhm.
and then I go to Wisconsin, and then it's fucking Christmas.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
All right.
crazy,
Fast. It's fast.
Hitting the ground running.
crazy, hitting the ground running. So, all right, let's get to soups. We got to kind of do a kind of a shortened show today because
Soups.
I have a dog going fucking nuts down there, and she needs to go on a walk.
Labrador.
Real quick,
yeah.
before we start
Labradors are
reading
high
chat,
energy.
I just want
High
sound off.
energy.
I want to see ones in chat if you believe in the simulation theory, and
I had a
twos in
poll
chat if you
going.
don't. Did you? Okay. Well,
Did I not?
all right.
You know what we're
Ones
gonna
if
get?
you believe.
We're
two
gonna get
if
a
you
bunch
don't.
of fucking 33s and 4s. We should just
All
do
right,
a
ones
poll.
and
Just do a
two.
poll.
Ones if you believe it.
Two.
Poll.
Polls don't exist on Rumble, so I can see
Oh,
Rumble chat
okay.
also.
I think the poll
One-
got-
Ones if you believe, two if
Wait,
you don't.
Rumble, get the poll. You don't have polls?
Yeah, work
Yeah,
that poll,
Rumble.
Rumble. Come on.
What the hell?
Rumble doesn't know how to work the poll.
Confirm.
unlike YouTube.
YouTube definitely works the poll
Oh,
Yeah.
It works
YouTube
real hard.
rides the poll.
way too hard.
And they'll give you the shaft.
Did you see? You know who I
All of
really
it.
like is Bobby Kennedy's running mate. What's her name?
Sarah, something.
Yeah,
so she's
that's her
great.
name.
I forget her name though.
She's great. She's from San Francisco.
Super based.
She is super based. She was with all the tech people in the beginning, and she did a great breakdown with who was she? She was talking to Roseanne Barr.
Roseanne's also really based.
By the way, I was going through my art portfolios of my art, but I also stuck in some original art there that I haven't seen in like 20 years. I have a page from an Elvira comic with her and Roseanne and Tom Arnold.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's
all
pretty
fighting
cool.
each other. I gotta show that, but
That's
I
so
don't know why I'm
random.
rambling. So she's talking to Roseanne Barr, right? And she said, so Roseanne's like, what the fuck happened to Silicon Valley? And to paraphrase the conversation, it was a pretty fun place filled with libertarians. It was kind of like the Wild West. People didn't really fucking care until 2016 happened, and the government came down and basically blamed Silicon Valley for Donald Trump's election. There was even a documentary that came out in 2020. I keep forgetting the name of it, but it is a documentary about how you steal an election essentially through Facebook. And it was a roadmap on how the election was fucking stolen the following that fucking year. But it was framed in the Russian agents coming in and remember, like, they've memory hold all of that, right?
Oh,
but
yeah.
that freaked Silicon Valley out, and all of a sudden that's when the government realized, oh, they have a lot of influence, so we're now going to just invade don't tell me they hadn't invaded all aspects of it before that, but they just ramped it up. And she said, yeah, all of a sudden this big party that Silicon Valley got very serious, and you had to be super PC. And John Kerry was coming to visit Facebook all the time, and you saw politicians, and you saw it change like overnight. And I can tell you right now, like, it was a fucking party. Like, we could do a whole show.
Watch the show.
It's not paranormal. We can do a whole episode on the Google Mafia.
Yeah.
That was in Silicon Valley, which is a bunch of programmers who were pimps and fucking drug dealers and gun runners. It turned
They
into
should
gun
do a
runners.
Breaking Bad show like that.
Yeah.
Like Silicon Valley with Breaking Bad together.
That's what was
that'd be
going
great.
on. That's what was going on. These
Wow.
little programmers were getting fucking rich and getting.
You can
involved
track the energy change with Mark Zuckerberg's outfit. His entire
that's
look
why-
and the PR team came in and changed his whole
that's what
look
she was talking
during
about.
those years, and
then-
they've changed it again.
And now he's supposedly flipped. But has anybody seen? I mean, I don't go on Facebook because
I don't use that.
fucking Facebook anymore. But it's like, has anybody seen Facebook change its ways? Have they, or is it just Mark Zuckerberg going, yeah, I'm libertarian now because the government like totally made me help steal election? Although they accused me of it before, I was actively involved in it.
I didn't know where the money was going, guys.
No,
That's what he claims. It's like bullshit, dude.
and their whole advertising thing's a scheme, total fucking scheme.
Oh yeah.
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 It's by the way, it's
Scheme
Nicole
and scam.
Shanahan.
Nicole Shanahan, I like her a lot.
It was bugging me. I had to look it up.
Yeah, I like
Nicole
her a lot.
Shanahan.
So
Me too.
yeah, after this, go watch her talk with Roseanne. It was pretty good. But yeah, here we are. on a social media network. Thank God for Rumble. It's gonna get. Just so you know, I don't think people were like 2024 is going to be worse than 2020. It hasn't been yet.
It's been wild.
No riots.
It's not been as bad.
No horrible government reaction to a cold. None of that yet. But I think it'll still get pretty shitty on social media platforms starting in the next couple weeks, probably for a good couple months, at least until the election's over, like well into December. I could be wrong, but you can already kind of tell. When you're around, you can start to understand the simulation, Adam. When you're around long enough, you can see the ones and zeros and when they change.
Blonde, brunette, redhead.
Blonde, brunette, redhead. Yeah.
Yep. So we will see. Just be prepared. Occupant 42, a rant for 2 parts for $40. If we are in a simulation and can prove that we are, then 1, we prove the simulation and contaminate the experiment and the sim is ended. Or we complete the experiment by that proof and the experiment is ended. Stop trying to destroy the world. That's something to think about. Not thinking about it. There you go. Zorbu has gifted 5 Nerdrotic Live memberships for $25. Thank you, Zorbu. Craig Morning for $20. The simulation theory is not very deep from all the research I've done. It comes mostly from scientists who see the evidence for creation and instead of pursuing the idea of God, it is their alternative. That's exactly what it is. But it is
deep though. Don't discount the deepness of it because it is very deep.
It's very deep. But the thing is,
they are trying to
however
replace
you get there,
religion with religion.
You get there. They already have a religion, Garrett. They already have a God. It is the self. It is the self. That's the problem. Fully problematic for $20. Says, don't believe we're in a simulation, but did see a red laser grid from horizon to horizon while in the woods at night here in Orlando years ago. I was used to the park's laser shows. It wasn't that weird.
That is weird.
Cool. Get a photo or a video? Because that would have been rad.
DB Wild for $20. Hail. Thought, and it's a colon. Micronova is just a reset of the sim. Builders are getting just as lazy as it seems we are. It's why each new version of humanity is dumber than previous. The only consistent is the plane itself. Interesting. Shameless plug. I wrote a book called World Hacker. It's about a guy that hacks into our simulation. It's available on Amazon. I plugged this before, but this time it's relevant. Great show. Thank you. And that's JD Kearney.
Go check it out.
Occupant 42. This is a rant for $20. Don't eat the menu. The model theory is not a reality. It is an attempt to describe reality in a useful way. The word hamburger on the menu is not the food. It describes food. Don't eat the menu. Okay. I'll try not to, but if I'm really hungry, I will. Rich Uncle Cheapskate for $49.99. Thank you very much. Is joining the stream late. Shame on you. And I don't know if this has already been discussed. Also, I'm sorry if this is a dumb question. If this is a simulation, would the simulation allow us to become spacefaring, or do you think we are confined to Earth? Well, it's interesting that you bring that up, Garrett. They talk about the filter, the limit that's put on us. Garrett,
the filter. Oh well.
Oh no,
we talked about it earlier. Yeah.
So travel the speed of light.
We're topped out at the speed of light.
Avogadro's constant, these numbers that we have found out mathematically, they might be limiting factors in how our world is built in this programming, if you will. So if the speed of light was actually faster in base world or wherever real world is, you can maybe get to those places a lot easier, but because of these limitations, we can't get to places because it takes so long.
You're separated.
Western Civilization for $10. What's up? Good looking. Why, thanks. Also, hello to Gary, Quarter Black, and X-Ray. Oh, it's Adam. Oh, whatever.
Oh, shucks.
Joseph
That's why they
Fabre.
paid me the big bucks. Sorry.
Duck lips. Joseph Fabre for $10. My favorite theory. We all died in 12-21-12 in a nova. We exist in a MEA, a massively entangled afterlife. We are now collectively working through levels of purgatory.
Wow.
That would suck.
So we're
That
like
would suck.
Not.
we're a spin-off from
Wait,
Lost.
wait.
Okay.
That's your favorite theory?
Yeah. What?
Gee.
What's your least favorite theory?
Yeah.
B-Chain 315, a rant for $5. The moment Gary is early, I'll know that the simulation is faltering. Stupid Padres win one more damn game. Oh, they didn't play, they didn't field half their team. Let's go Mets. Sorry about that. Hail Forbidden Frontier, about to carve some pumpkin while I listen. Cheers. Yeah, yeah, we wanted to make sure everybody's healthy for the playoffs that start on Tuesday, where we play the Braves at home. Ready to go. Aberjam for $1. Adam, I also got a little Moai head. Those Rapa Nui women sure know how to make a guy feel welcome.
Heyo. Oh, heyo.
Johan Naxos for $10. If we're a simulation, then we're all just virtual machines. Wormholes are there to quickly copy the VMs from one sim to another. Well, ELEs happen. When ELEs happen, we get rebooted in a new VM stack in another TSC. Lots of acronyms there. And
A lot of programmer speak going on.
programmer, like, what the fuck?
Cool.
JD Kearney for $5. So in 1958, a hurricane by the name of Helena made landfall on September 26th. And again, in 1958, it was a category 4. They didn't even change the file name in the simulation. Oh, interesting. And that hurricane fucked up a lot of shit, and we're not hearing about it. Isn't that weird?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is super weird.
Red states are just left. These small towns are like decimated. It's bad. Up in North Carolina and Georgia. Yeah, it's fucked up to where DeSantis had to send National Guard or aid from Florida, up there, which is nuts because the hurricane hit Florida. There's some stuff going on Twitter. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Asheville's just swamped, like 2-story high water. It's crazy.
There's a conspiracy theory that that's the government that did it with HARP, which is an interesting. I don't know.
Are they controlling the weather?
That's what they're talking
That's what
about.
HARP is.
Yeah,
Ben's just gonna say it's a precursor to the
revenge.
Nova.
Revenge for purging the voter rolls of North Carolina.
That's
it was
a pretty
like last
crazy
week.
I think
conspiracy theory.
the
and
weather
I
happens.
No, I know it's crazy, but I see it. I've got my
think it's just
hat.
hurricane season.
Yeah,
But
I also think that. Yeah.
it's climate change because
I
hurricanes
don't know if
happening in
it's true.
hurricane
I'm not
season.
saying I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just saying there's a conspiracy going around.
I watched Farscape. Puppets are better than CG. You're right, Matthew.
correct.
For the $2. Maggie for $10. 2 sci-fi short stories that are kind of polar opposites that are relevant to this discussion are worth it. The Egg by Andy Weir and The Machine Stops by E.M. Forster.
Check those out.
Well, I like the Y-Files. You brought in Philip K. Dick a little bit.
I have that
and,
video, but we never got to it.
Yeah, well, it's just about his observation. Like, he dropped a lot of fucking acid. All right, so and acid can make you feel like you're watching life from outside, like a veil, for sure. Like you're observing it from another place.
I'm glad he did because he wrote some good books.
He did, but it killed him.
Too bad.
Too many drugs killed him. Killed him very early and young.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah. If we live in a simulation, then I want to move to a simulation where Gary is always on time for streams and pineapple pizza does not exist. Hail EVAP. Piston for 6. Wow, you're cool with everything else in the world, just me being late and pineapple
Those two
pizza.
things.
Damn.
It's not bad, actually.
John Orchard, yeah. I guess, life's pretty good. If you have a father in a simulation, what is your child's reality? Do the children also have their own simulations? Well, they're part of it. Self-replicating individual autonomous machines or bits of programming. Not really sure. I mean, if you think about like what's actually solid, I mean, we didn't even get into that. Atoms, like this table is not solid.
Right.
We
vibrating
observe it
very slowly.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, also on that note, though, I when I was down my rabbit hole with Nish, we were discussing all sorts of different things, and one of them was how if everything is a simulation, and it's not that we need one giant computer to simulate the universe, it's more that we would need enough computing power for each conscious being that is aware of itself. Because I don't know if animals like a fox, is a fox aware that it's a fox, or is it just living its program out?
It's starting to hurt
right?
my brain to think about this.
Where we are aware of ourselves, like we humans are the universe becoming aware of itself, which is a cool, I don't know where that's from, but it's someone greater than me said that. And so if we are in a simulated universe, it would make more sense to save computing power that each one person would have a dedicated server for it to render in. Like me, I'm rendering in my room around me
I'm
right now.
I'm guessing if you
And that's it.
create a universal simulation, you have the power.
I agree with that.
I don't think
yes.
the power is a problem.
Well, when I play an online
based on that
game-
super chat,
Yeah, yeah.
When I play an online game, the visuals are loaded by my computer. Right?
Yeah.
So, and the other people that are playing the online games, visuals are being loaded on their computers. So our brains are just our individual computers.
Yep.
Our PCs.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So when I have a kid, they get their own connection, their own computer to render in their reality.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that. It's cool.
Zorbu on the Streamlabs side for $10 says, is this all a simulation? Is Quarter Earthling getting probed somewhere in an alternate dimension? Well, we think so because he told us that he takes it in all dimensions. right up the Tesseract.
And blue spot.
Zorbu's jealousy's not a good look on anyone. All right, I'm just saying.
Andrew Matthews for $2 British pounds, proper money. Is the wall she fell off a simulation? Is our wall a simulation? Is my house a simulation? I paid a lot of simulated dollars for my simulated house, and we paid a lot of simulated dollars for our simulated wall that's got giant gaping holes in it.
Yeah,
but not around. Is it Juarez, Garrett? That's the town that's outside of El Paso. Is that Juarez?
Yeah, that's really close. You can see it.
Yo, dude, and you can see the wall. It's there.
You can see it.
Oh yeah, the wall. There's a lot of the wall. You can see a lot of it when you're driving, especially to San Diego. There's a lot of it done. Sean Awesome 77 for $5. What if the simulation we are in is a woke version of a game in another universe? That's why I said we're post DEI. Like a
just
patch came
Dustborn.
in.
Oh.
Yeah, the Dustborn patch came into our reality a few years ago. Oh my god!
Triggered.
You know who voices the main character in Dustborn?
No,
the actress who plays Naomi Nagata in The Expanse.
Oh.
Really? Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I like The Expanse for the first 2 seasons.
First 2-3 seasons are fucking great. Baba Doom 1 for $5. Chuck Misler did some great lectures on this topic. He was a Christian. He was a Christian teacher. Tech was his background. He was a really good and regular guy. Is he gone? Is he no longer with us? Yeah. Sounds like Aberjam for $1 a rant. I don't mind if I'm in a simulation, so long as I don't have to wake up and find out that I'm really Dwayne Dibley.
What?
I knew who he was.
Dwayne
Dibley.
Or did he at this point?
Did he? Oh my goodness.
Kasama 001 for $5 says, check out Dark Matter series, Power Corrupts. Yahweh is a teenager sent into a simulated world to test how he would react if he were omnipotent. Jake,
interesting.
Yeah, Jake Martin for $5. I've heard it said it's statistically unlikely that we're not living in a simulation, by token of the fact that we ourselves can create simulations. That's what, yeah, we talked about that a little bit. That's part of the equation.
It's a red dwarf character. Chat has.
Okay. That's why I don't know.
I need to watch that show. I've seen bits of it as I grew up, but I haven't watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that means.
Hashtag me too. Aberjam for $1. Why am I never surprised that when science defies our expectations, the default is never, well, I guess we got that one wrong, but instead the universe is doing it wrong. Exactly. It's how they word things. And it's just the lack of humility in science with a lot of people now. There's nothing wrong with going, you know what? We fucked the math up on that one pretty bad. Sorry. Matthew Hammond for $2. A good simulation movie is The 13th Floor. That is a good simulation movie. I agree. Chef Nick Nero for $5. If everything is fake, like the news and history isn't that kind of sort of a simulation of reality, you are living in a dream world, Neo. Well, there's the reality that happened, and then there's the events we are told about that reality. The fact of the matter is, like, people are still discussing why the Roman Empire fell. You know that, right? There's like a lot of competing theories. And there's probably little bits of truth about all of them, but like nobody really knows. And that's pretty well documented, well documented place.
We just had a guy on Normal World, Jeremy Ryan, last name, Jeremy Ryan something. He's super smart, and he talked about all of the Roman Empire and how it applies to now and how it's not quite exactly what's going on, but there's like aspects of it. Yeah, go find that guy's stuff. He's fucking super smart.
It really was a good episode. Like the way the similarities that he talks about, and he made something. He talked about something that we're already like we're already fallen, and we just don't. We're kind of realizing it now. That was a great episode, by the way. Good job. Good shit. I love your show.
Tommy from Power Rangers for $10 says, Gary, I have a message from the mainstream media. Go fuck.
It's Pig Latin.
Go ourself, yay. The coof is fully over for most people. You've been repeating the same hogwash for 5 years. Shut up and flip and move on. JFC.
Wait, are they still talking about that?
That's a message from the mainstream media.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Wow. It's so over now. Just forget about how everybody reacted. I will never fucking forget. Our reality did change. There was a patch in our reality. And, you fucking walk around and you can tell what people are still stuck in that reality because they got fucking masks on. I went to a comic store yesterday and like all the employees had masks on. A couple of them didn't, but a bunch of them did. It's like fucking A. So now it's a badge. So yes, it broke a lot of people. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever.
Never.
I know the mainstream media wants us
Never
to,
will.
but don't ever fucking get over that and move past it. Fuck that. I am not moving past that. Look at No Man's Sky procedural planet system. Says Woodyman for $2. Did they figure that game out yet?
I believe so.
When they rolled it out, probably rolled it out a little too soon.
Overhyped a little bit too early.
Which game?
No Man's
Sky. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I enjoy playing it right now. So
that's what I hear. I hear they dedicated a lot of their energy into fixing the game and making sure that it was what they said it was. So commendable. They didn't just drop it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Do it.
Nothing wrong with that. Aberjam for $5. If Gary is being played by someone outside of the simulation, I can't help thinking they look something like Sloth from Goonies. Probably. You're probably right. The Raven and the Writing Desk for $6.99 Canadian. Do you know Donald Hoffman? He claims reality is a projection of our consciousness. Everything is immaterial. I don't know if I'm ready to go that far, but
that's a whole nother level.
Anyone know the cheat code for infinite ice cream? We're working on it. Andrew Matthews for £5 Professor Brian Cox's Night with the Stars was a great documentary that tried to explain quantum theory. Jason Moore for $5. Humans have always dictated our own reality. We make up solutions that fit the facts to answer questions that frighten us. History is full of examples. Zorbu for $10. Gary, stop asking us where we come from. You failed astronomy in school. I never took astronomy. Take that.
Joke's on
There's
you,
no
Zorbu.
joke's on you, Zorbu. There's no
Checkmate.
way to explain it to you effectively, but please consider this a donation and constellation prize. Oh,
Yeah,
kill me.
man.
It's like
good
the
dad
jokes
joke.
write
Good
themselves,
dad joke.
Earthlings. Get out of here. Nick
Wow.
Brony for $4.99. Simulations are head movies that sometimes make your eyes rain.
Oh.
Aberjam for $1. CERN corrupting every reality node. Yes. How do I say this one?
Shumani Tatanka Awachi?
For $1. Did you hear that Flint Dibble went after Keanu? Yeah. Flint Dibble, he's got attention now. He's got attention outside of his little realm in his little university, and he's fucking loving it.
Yeah.
He's loving it. Simon Ho for 5 Canadian pesos. I remember, well, my high school gym teacher passed away in the 80s, but recently found his obituary in 2015. No classmate remembers anyone passing in the 80s. So you okay, Simon, I get it. So it's like a Mandela effect.
What happened to you? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Where are you from, Simon? Nikolai Tesla, back from the dead on the Streamlabs side for $5. From an incandescent mass we have originated, and into a frozen mass we shall turn. Merciless is the law of nature, and rapidly and irresistibly we are drawn to our doom. Sleep tight, everybody.
Very pessimistic.
Neil Horn
outlook
for
on life.
$5. Hail, everyone. If we're living in a simulation, then why the hell does candy corn exist?
Bugs in the system exist.
No. Oh,
I
it's
saw someone
candy
make a
corn.
pizza
glitches.
out of it.
Ugh.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's
Disgusting.
nasty.
I love candy corn. Fuck y'all.
But would you eat a
Rick,
would you
pizza
eat a
made out of it?
pizza?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. You're
There's
not that
limits.
you're not that lost.
Thank God.
No. I go a little nuts with like spicy things, right? I like my spicy and sweet stuff.
Ooh, me too.
Yeah, there's just a really
Just spice.
I finally found a
candy corn
good
should be
hot
eaten
sauce
by
here.
itself.
Carolina Reaper sauce is
There
really
you go.
freaking good. Yeah, it's a good one.
Aberjam for $2 says today marks my 50th solar orbit. I'm going to celebrate by drinking water from a garden hose and riding my BMX till the street lights come on. Hail to my fellow Gen Xers.
You stay young, man.
Birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh, dude.
Drinking for their water hose, man. There's a certain taste.
We used to go
Can't
out
get it anywhere
with
else.
shovels. We go take our bikes out with shovels because like this was when California wasn't as built up as it was, but they were in the process of building it up. So there was it kind of looked like the neighborhoods in Poltergeist and in ET, right? So there'd be lots, there'd be empty lots. And then we go out with our shovels and we make tracks. And dude, it was so much fun. So they were tiered, right? Because they'd be going down a hill and the lots were tiered. So we'd make a track and then jump off of each tier to the next track with whoop-de-doos, jump off the next tier. It was so much fun.
Sounds
Heck
dope.
yeah.
It's fucking great.
Kind of want to do that in my forest.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, it's possible.
Shumani would just say for $2, there was a low pressure system that held the hurricane in place, and it's rare for a Gulf Coast hurricane to take that type of path. It's a rare weather event, not climate change. I was joking, by the way. I was completely joking because there were people going, climate change, hurricanes. It's like hurricanes during hurricane season. That, next thing you're going to tell me, it gets hot in the summertime. Holy shit.
They do say that though. They're like,
They do.
it's so hot, and then you could see
Climate
that
change.
they've altered the color of the temperatures. When like 20 years ago it was hotter temperatures and the colors are different. It's just like, you guys.
No, yeah, there's actually a map. If you go to my weather app, there's a map that it defaults to that's like the heat index, and everything's fucking red. It looks like everything's on fire.
Doom.
Yeah, it's like, get out of here.
Yep.
Zorbu on the Streamlabs side for $10. Gary, during the last abduction, Zorbu, will I be okay? I don't know, man. Mercury is in Uranus right now, but I don't understand all those astronomical terms, Zorbu. Me neither, man. But our thermometer probe just broke.
Oh,
Eric K.
Ooh.
Adam.
Sick.
What does a fox say? Yip, 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 yow. Catzilla for 19.99. Great discussion. Off to watch Penguin. Yes, I'm doing that next after I watch.
Dude, I watched the first episode. Oh,
What's about time?
it's good. It's a good show.
Good. Hope it holds up.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Avasarala is in it. I can't.
Oh, she with the deep voice. She's from Expanse.
The one from the Expanse.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's in a lot of stuff.
So she plays Salvatore Maloney's wife. So
Okay.
Clancy Brown's wife. The Clapper of Cheeks for $1.99. How does blockchain storage tech factor into this? A lot. I'm just gonna say that.
No idea what
know.
blockchain or how it works.
I don't understand blockchain, and I'm too old to care. Good luck with your crypto and your simulated currency, everybody. Curtis Hart for $4.99. If we are in a simulation, then how do I access my stats so I can give myself better vision? Yeah, no shit, right?
Oh, dude, you know at the end of
I wish.
a Grand Theft Auto when you could see all your stats, how many pedestrians you killed and how many cars you crashed and all that stuff. I want that. Like when I get to the end, I want a nice stat
Like
list.
how
How
many
many times did I fart? How many times did I take a deuce?
How many spiders did you kill? Yeah,
Exactly.
How many shits did I take?
God, I want that stat so much. It's so good.
how many hours did I spend sleeping on the toilet? And
I want a total tally.
Slain Hope for $5. Hail all. If you're getting into the realm of anime, you should check out Grave of the Fireflies. It's essential in watching Akira and Ghost in the Shell.
It is good.
Cool.
Force Geek
Okay.
for $5. Garrett is quarter black and has 4 kids. Does that mean he's going to abandon one of them?
oh,
That's pretty good.
My dad was abandoned when he was a kid. How do you feel now?
I still think it was a good joke. Just saying.
Well, you're racist. Okay. You bigot.
Only a quarter. Only a
Okay,
quarter.
that's fine.
racist.
It's fine. But that little bit though.
Was I abandoned if my dad abandoned my mom while I was like in her stomach? Probably.
Yeah.
knowingly, then yeah.
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 Yes.
But then I was adopted, so I got a dad out of it. Tinoy for $5.17. You mentioned the Apollo 11 astronauts interview and how scared they were a number of times, but didn't say much after that. Can you give the thoughts more, or is it worth an episode? Thoughts on Neil Armstrong? Love your show. Keep on keeping on. You know what? That's worth an episode of bringing back Mike Barra, because we can talk to Mike Barra.
Did we go to the moon or?
Well, he absolutely. Well, for one, he's been on specials discussing this. So we have been to the moon. Now, what did he see on the moon?
That's right.
That's a whole different story.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the fact that we threw them up there in a fucking little container that had the brain power of a calculator.
Right.
And we managed to do it. Like, that's fucking insane.
I agree. Imagine if they saw remnants of a civilization that existed 13,000 years ago. Like, what if Atlantis, the people of Atlantis did save themselves? They did go up to the moon to sit and watch the micronova shred civilization on Earth and then return back down with their little handbags that were actually just, I don't know, an intelligence transfer thing to teach how the remaining humans how to survive agriculture and reproduce, because they were decimated. What if that's what they saw? What if that's why they were so freaked out? Because they can't tell the public. Oh no, don't tell the public that we actually found that humans were on the moon already, because that would be insane. Don't you think? I think that's what it was.
I feel like they would have said that, because then that would have given them
No way.
like power.
No,
They would have
no
given
way.
that would have given them power for sure.
Not if they.
Hey,
not if there was
us
technology.
Americans, we went up there. We found that there's a civilization up there. You don't
Not
think
if
they would have
found
said
technology. Not if they found technology. If they found technology
And brought
they're
it back
"Well,
somewhere?"
we're keeping that. We don't want the Russians to find out. We don't want China to find out. Well, it was the Russians at that point, right? because it's Sputnik. That was the whole space race was because of Sputnik, right? So now I'm really curious what Mike Barra's got to say, right? Because obviously he's been been doing specials. That's what Gary just said. So
he's done them. Yeah.
Interesting.
We got a couple of deaths to acknowledge. Chris Christopherson passed away.
I
What?
saw that.
Yeah.
Yep.
For real?
Yeah.
Aw,
And
rest in
John
peace.
Ashton from Beverly Hills Cop.
I did hear
passed
that.
away as well.
Hmm.
So, R.I.P.
All right.
Yeah, the great Chris Christopherson.
Chris Christopherson.
He's a fucking man. Made it to
No.
88. And that guy fucking partied
88.
hard in the 70s. Like hard. The fact that he made it that long.
It's a good life.
Yeah.
88.
Yeah. Yeah.
A rubber duck.
Yeah. He looked good for 88 too.
Yeah.
Convoy.
And we lost Maggie Smith too.
That's right, Convoy.
Mm-hmm.
Comes in
Convoy.
trees.
Who's Maggie Smith?
Played McGonagall in Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
Mrs.
You didn't watch
McGonagall.
Harry Potter.
I know who you're talking about though. That
Yeah,
woman. All right.
yeah,
She was
she's
to me. She's old Wendy in Hook.
Yeah, she's a British legend. She's been in fucking
She's a
everything.
legend.
Yeah.
She was in Clash
Yeah.
of the Titans. The original. The good
Wow.
one.
That's right. Holy shit.
Holy
yeah.
shit!
Forgot about that.
Wow. Okay.
All right. We're gonna wrap this one up, ladies and gents.
Good episode. That was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fun. I gotta go walk the dog and watch the penguin.
I'm gonna go
Hell
do that
yeah.
too. Well, not the dog part. I'll go walk my kids.
Well, yeah, put them on a leash
Yeah.
and go.
On a
I'll
take
put
leash?
some
them.
food in their bowl.
Parents do that, okay?
Have you ever seen that in the wild? It's
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen it
Retarded.
in the wild.
What? A leash on a kid? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fucking
It's
weird.
usually
Yeah.
like a backpack that's like looks super cute with the tail.
yeah, but then they're like,
Leash thing.
Yeah, never gonna happen.
No.
Yeah, that's
no, I just discipline my kids to be close to me and listen
Yeah.
to me when we're in public.
Or if I need to put them on a leash, I'm not going to go to the place where I would need to put them on
Yeah.
a leash.
Yeah.
correct.
I'd wait a little bit before I take them there.
Yeah,
I like that. It's like taking my kid to Disneyland the first time. I was that stupid parent that did it when he was too young. And I'm like, why in the fuck did we do it? It was just a pain in the ass. He
Yeah.
fucking hated everything. There was a giant rat coming at him. Like, what the fuck?
Ah!
So we waited till he was way older to like understand and enjoy it. Yeah, I was like, yeah, walking around with a
You gotta wait till like
controller.
5 or 6, 7. Like those are good times to take a
Yeah.
kid somewhere. If they're really small, you can take them to like an aquarium or the zoo, maybe.
Aquarium, yeah.
Yeah, places like that, the super expensive, fun locations, not fun with a little kid.
Nope.
Sucks.
Babysitter.
Especially with more than just one. Oh,
Yeah, I bet you that's fun.
nightmare.
Nightmare. What do you got coming up, Garrett?
Absolutely nothing. Go subscribe to my channel, Nega Garrett. It's got 2 videos on there. One is about comic book movies, and the other one's about LA. I got another video coming out maybe about the 20th of next month, depending on how I can edit it, because we're going to Peru. But go subscribe. People watched it. Got over 20K.
Nice.
So it's like my second video on the channel. So
That's fucking
thank you
awesome.
so much for checking that out.
That is really awesome. Good title. That helps.
Oh yeah, yeah. I spent a
title,
lot
though.
of time like thinking about that.
Yeah. I'm gonna see the Joker tomorrow night.
Me too.
cool.
So that'll be our next video.
The Joker
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Cool.
The Joker 2.
Electric
I don't have
Boogaloo.
high I do not have high expectations.
Musical down.
Musical.
It was like
200
Lady
million.
Gaga musical, 200 million, sequel to a movie that shouldn't have existed in the beginning.
Wow.
We'll see.
We'll see.
It's kind of, like Hangover 2.
Yeah.
Unnecessary.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, Hangover 3 was better than Hangover 2, but like you didn't need a Hangover 2. Hangover was perfect. It'd be like doing an old school 2 or a dodgeball 2. You don't need to do that, by the way. They're gonna
Yeah,
do a
right.
dodgeball 2. Or Happy Gilmore 2. Oh shit, they're already doing that.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
What do you got
Ocean's
coming up?
12 was a classic trash.
Oh, fucking
sequel.
terrible. I don't
Yeah.
even own it, right? Like,
Horrible.
I don't even acknowledge it. Ocean's
Fine.
13 is
Ocean's
be-
13 was good.
much better.
Fine movie.
Because it belongs in
Oh, yeah.
Vegas, dude. It's not like if you're not in Vegas, what's
It's-
the fucking point?
It's a high stakes theft. It has a French dude that floats in on the.
Yeah. No, Vegas,
I like that movie, too.
Vegas is a character. Vegas is a character in Ocean's
Yeah,
11,
that's true.
11 and 13.
It's true. Yeah.
So
They're doing the whole like European vacation kind of thing. Like they're
Yeah.
going off to another place.
They just wanted a European vacation, which I can't fault them for, except for George Clooney's not a movie star.
That's true.
Well, and he has a house in Italy anyway, so
Well, he's got a few houses because of his rich, politically connected dad.
yeah.
What do you got coming up, Adam?
Just trying to find out how to sleep again. It's been a rough week.
It happens.
Yeah,
Eventually get back to it.
it's been pretty rough. But I've been doing a good job of letting my wife sleep. So usually I'll take him at night and let her sleep. And but it's been, a learning process. He's 1 month old today, which is crazy to think about.
Congrats.
That I've had a child for a month. And that this past month has just I can't believe it's been a month already. And I hear it's going to be a year next suddenly, and then I'm going to be watching him get married one day, and it's going to be like, where the fuck did the time go? But same old, I'm doing my daily show on the Crigler Show here on YouTube and Rumble. I've been triple streaming, I guess, on X as well. So just follow me everywhere, Adam Crigler or the Crigler Show. Subscribe. Thanks.
X-Ray Girl.
You can find me everywhere, pretty much. X-Ray Girl. Tomorrow I'll be on the Nooner, I guess. And I do have something to share because this is one of our sponsors, I guess you can call them, Gamer Subs. They have some new Pixel cups, which it's very exciting. So
Wait, I have one. Hang on, I can show.
you actually have one? Oh, I want one.
Yeah.
Wow, that
You
was
have-
jealousy.
Throw this one out.
I
Put it
do.
over.
Well, because I love shiny things with lights and changing colors. So you can get like a little coaster cup where you put the cup on and then it changes all the lights in the actual image.
That's cool.
Cup. So
I
I
can
don't
see
know
that.
if this is a Pixel cup, but this is a cup from them. Their stuff is
Is it in your
pretty
shirt?
good. I like
What-
it.
yeah, you can
gotta-
use code
Wait, hold on, let me get
Nerdrotic
it.
for a
What was that?
discount.
It looked like you were
And,
pulling it out of your shirt.
Oh no, I'm
That's
putting
it,
I
just
put
hidden
my
right
headphones
here.
under my shirt so the cord doesn't hang down. It's just a habit I've done forever. I don't need to, but yeah. So here it is. Here's a cup.
Nice.
nice.
Cool.
And
Cool.
yeah, they have very good flavors. My favorite is titty milk. There's also blowhole blast and guacamole gamer farts
They're gonna-
9000.
They're going to be sponsoring all my gamer streams that I'm doing around the holidays, which is so
Oh,
funny
goodness.
that I have a sponsor. I love how much that pisses Az off. It's like I've done like 3 gaming
Best
streams and I got a sponsor.
Nah, their stuff is really good though, and keto friendly if you're into that. So yeah.
There you go. Awesome.
Oh, and there
Well,
was one more super chat I had to
read it.
read. Jose Taco on the Streamlabs side for $1 says, when you get water from a restaurant, make sure they don't open the bottle unless it's in front of you. Also, Gary, do you want to borrow my Insta 360 with a 10-foot retractable pole that makes it like a drone? I'll send you an email. I'm in San Antonio.
I don't want to be responsible for losing that.
That sounds expensive.
Yeah.
I want to get one of those. They're pretty
Insta,
amazing.
yeah, 360s are cool.
The Insta 360, I want it.
We'll talk. Maybe. I mean, like if I lost it, I'd just have to pay to replace it, which is fine. But
Yeah.
I'd hate to lose it in fucking luggage.
Mhm.
I'm taking 3 flights at one point. So
Yeah, it's rough.
I know. Make sure you load
Not
up some
looking
good
forward to
stuff on your phone.
Oh, I've
Bring
got
my
my
Switch.
I'm bringing the pad.
Oh, me too.
I've got my favorites loaded on there. I think it's I'll watch either I'll probably watch like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
There's enough
Uh,
flying to go through the entire
Yeah,
Trilogy.
extended.
Yep, the
extended
entire
versions.
thing.
Jeez.
Bubba
Let me sit in an
Goon,
airport for 7 hours.
Ugh.
7
go
hour
to the
layover.
lounge. Go to the lounge if you can.
What does that cost? Dude, how much does
airport
it cost?
lounge.
You have to it costs
it
money
could
or
be
you got to be
cut-
in first class.
Or credit cards
Does cost
sometimes
money.
cover entrances to lounges. So
Okay, I'll have to look into that.
possibility.
That's where I saw Jonathan Frakes and Terry Metalis, and
Oh.
we were going to the lounge right because we were in first class for the UK, so we got to hang out in the lounge as part of our
Yeah.
ticket, and saw Jonathan Frakes.
That's cool.
Highfalutin over here.
There is another super chat. Bubba Doom for 2 says they need a flavor called anchovy dog fart. Ew.
I put
What's wrong with you?
the links to the call cut, The Hobbit, Gary.
That's a good one to load up.
Yes, I got that. I got that.
Oh, you did it? Okay, because I put those in there so you can check this out. I told Colin, he was like, "That's pretty cool."
That's awesome.
So
Thanks,
I'd like
Colin.
to hear your thoughts on his
Sure.
cut, because it's 2 movies and it didn't feel like he took anything out. Like I watched them and it was
Because there's so much bloat in those.
yeah.
But they're fucking Shakespeare compared to the Rings of Power. All right.
Wow.
So Joker review coming out. Rings of Power finale later this week.
Next week.
Friday Night Tights, who's our guest? Fringy.
Fringy.
And nooner tomorrow on
Yee.
Rumble. So until next time, guys, have a good night. Go watch The Penguin.
What should we talk about next week?
Oh, I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure
it out. All right, chat.
Bye.
Bye.
Nerdrotic.com.
Welcome, travelers, to the fringes of reality, where the strange and mysterious meet, and the thin veil between fact and fiction is torn. Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier.